Taylor, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
We heard Cam Irving say call you the franchise. What do you think of that nickname, and how likely do you think it is you guys get a deal done before the start of the season?
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen with the deal situation. Right now, I'm just focused on being the best. Taylor Moton, I can be out on the field. Just focusing on camp, getting a little better day in and day out, finding things to work on and get better at. And they can call me what they want. Uh, the franchise is definitely a nickname I got to get a little used to. But just like I said, taking one day at a time.
Are you okay playing under the tag? I mean, that's, obviously you don't necessarily have a choice, but what are your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, I mean, ultimately, I'm just honestly, I'm blessed to be in the building. And I'm blessed to be a Panther and go out there. I mean, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be out there with my brothers out on the field and be able to play the sport I love at the end of the day.
All right, we'll go to Steve Reed, then PJ Morales.
So, Taylor, to clarify, would you play under the franchise tag this year?
I mean, I'm here. I'm here in the building right now. So, um, right now, I see a reason why not to. But like I said, the whole contract situation is just something I talked to about my agent, and for now, I'm just focused on being a best football player I can be until minicamp's over, and then through this off-season program, just doing what I can to be the best I can be. So.
I ask you, you guys had obviously full participation today, and some teams didn't even have mini camps. How much of a benefit is this getting everybody out here for mini camps and especially being a young team?
I think it's a great benefit. I think that whenever we have an opportunity to get reps and get just an opportunity to get everyone together so we can all practice and get better with the playbook on hand, I think it's always a good opportunity.
Hey Taylor, I'm PJ. How you doing, man?
Doing well, and yourself?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Yeah, excited to be here. But yeah, so I just had a few questions. Obviously, got a lot of guys coming in. You've kind of been a staple on the line for a few years now. How do you feel about the guys that are currently surrounding you, and how are you working with them?
I'm loving the guys. I'm excited to go to war with them week in and week out. And right now, I'm excited just to have the opportunity to get better with them day in and day out. So yeah, it's a great group of guys, and I think I can see the chemistry building day in and day out.
Yeah, and then as far as on the line itself, what kind of leadership do you think you provide? Just having been in Carolina and Charlotte for so long, how important do you think you are to kind of keeping them together?
Me along with Matt, I understand that I've played, the most snaps here among the whole line. So I know that that's a role that I got to walk into and accept. And so far, I'm just like everything else, along with being a better football player, leadership is something I got to take day by day and just let the younger guys know my own experiences and little tidbits that help me, stay in the building and stay on the field as long as I have, and just want to continue to get better.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Steven Toronto.
Hey, Taylor. I hope you're doing well. So I think Matt Rule was asked about, the possibility of you playing left tackle. I'm wondering why, if you could explain to us, the average person, why is it not easy to just switch from right tackle to left tackle? And then also after that, how would your comfortability in doing that? How would you feel about that?
It's definitely different because your footwork is different, your hands are different, the playbook's different, everything's flipped, right? So you take so many pass sets. I played in college, right side, so I'm so used to going one way with my feet and my hips and my hands that it's not as comfortable, obviously, when you got to flip all that in your mind. It's muscle memory, but it's just something that I've come to get more comfortable with reps, and I know that's something that it just takes more and more reps against NFL D linemen, and going out of my way to make sure I'm doing everything I can. So if I'm ever thrown in there, I'm as ready as I can be if the opportunity ever presents itself.
Hey, Taylor. First things first, you've had a couple different nicknames since you've been in Carolina. First it was Sweatpack, then it was Timo. Now guys are calling you Franchise. What has it been like to have a bunch of people call you a bunch of different things as you've gone along here?
So, Franchise is really, really new. It's mainly been Timo over the past few years. I know when I first got here with Cam Newton, he liked to call me Sweatpack, but for the most part, it's been Timo. But it's okay. I figure out who they're talking to.
And then Matt Rule was telling us about how the difference between left and right tackle isn't what it used to be in the NFL because so many pass rushers now rush off both left and right tackle. How have you seen the importance of your job at right tackle change since you've been in the league, and how do you think it helps your offense and your offensive line, given the way that defenses are becoming more multiple and more versatile in what they do to attack opposing offenses?
I don't like to think of any one position being more important than another, right? I understand that every job is different for sure, but whether you're tackle, whether you're guard, whether you're center, whether you're wide receiver, running back, quarterback, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, if you're out there on offense, you have to do your job, or it could stop a drive, it could stop a play, whatever. So I don't like to think of one job being more important than another. So I think if you're out there game day that you're doing and you're out there on the field, it's a crucial job. So.
All right, let's go to Will Pelagic, Vincent Richardson, and then finish off with Joe Person.
Hi, Taylor. Just kind of dovetailing off that and kind of going into kind of some of the guys who are acclimating to left tackle. What help can you give to a guy like a Cam Irving or even a rookie like a Brady Christensen in trying to acclimate themselves to what's new with this offense?
To me, it's just I got to see how they set. I got to see how they run block. I got to see a lot of little different things, and I can help tweak little details here and there. Just everyone likes to play a little different. Everyone's a little different, so I can just use my experience and say, okay, well, if I were you and you're trying to do that, maybe change this up if this isn't working, type deal. But other than that, if they have any questions for me, I'm always an open book. And I've gotten to know those guys. Cam Irving, Brady Christian, you name those two guys are tremendous guys, sponges. Obviously, Cam's been in the league a long time. He's learned his fair share of football knowledge, and we bounce things off each other all the time. So we're constantly learning from each other. And even Brady Christensen is another sponge, someone who loves to learn, and I've seen him grow from day one until now. So it's been pretty cool to see.
Hi, Taylor. As somebody who was drafted with a view to having the potential to play multiple positions across the line, particularly sort of guard and tackle flexibility, I was wondering what advice you have had or would have for Brady Christensen as someone who is, again, being asked to potentially learn two quite different skill sets at the same time as a rookie.
I think, I'm one thing, stay healthy, right? But the next is you got to know what you're doing out there. So as an offensive lineman, I'd like to not memorize a play, but recognizing the entire concept of the play, right? Don't just memorize what the right tackle does on this play. Look at the whole scheme of it, and then that way it doesn't matter if you're a right tackle or a left guard or center. You know how you fit into the system no matter where you're at, and it makes the game slow down as opposed to you just memorizing one position. Now you got to play something else, and then you feel like you don't know what to do, and then you play a little slower, right? So I think one of the biggest things I can say is try to understand and recognize the whole concept of these plays instead of just memorize what you do as this position.
Taylor, Robbie was saying he's noticed kind of a new energy, a new glow. He said around Sam that he didn't necessarily notice in New York. I know you weren't there in New York. Just wonder what your assessment has been after several weeks with Sam.
Well, I believe Sam's a great guy, great leader. Obviously, I don't know much about quarterback play, but I believe in him, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to play with him and protect him.
And then, if you would describe what it's like taking a one-on-one rep pass block against Burns.
He's very elusive, very athletic. Tremendous explosion off the ball. He's got all the tools in his tool belt to be one of the greatest in the game. So he's definitely someone you gotta make sure in your P's and Q's for when he's in front of you. You gotta block him.